Now, when it comes to your social media strategies, it's important to note that social media follow accounts now matter less than ever before. So, when you're writing your strategies for 2026, if you haven't already done so, and you're thinking about those success metrics, which you are going to stick to, followers certainly shouldn't be in your kind of top position of success. In fact, a lot of people are saying they're now meaningless. I still think followers do have a bit of a play in terms of that vanity figure, but also, they're very prominent, they're easy to find. And this is something that Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri shared in 2024. But he did say back then that it is important to understand that your followers does not impact how many views or likes that you get. And it certainly isn't an indicator of how the algorithm works. In fact, audiences are following less and less people. When stumbling across a piece of content, they consume it. They don't necessarily click follow on that brand or creator. They might send it to a friend, they might reply to the post, but they trust that the algorithm will bring the content back to their feeds or will bring similar content back to their feeds. They no longer need to click follow anymore. And that's why you've probably seen your follower numbers get incredibly harder and harder to grow over the last couple of years. Feeds are now almost entirely controlled by algorithms rather than follow accounts. And simply having a follower doesn't guarantee that they're going to see your posts. You also need to understand that platforms now distribute videos based on the content appeal and whether that content is going to appeal to people rather than follow accounts. So that's probably been one of the biggest shifts in social media over the last few years, how good the algorithms have got at recommending you content based on previous content you've engaged with. And it does make it difficult for businesses and creators to kind of prove their worth. But actually, I do think this is something I myself, as a social media as a social media consultant, do tend to look at successful view counts as well as followers, and actually might take view counts much more of a genuine success metric rather than how many followers somebody has. Here's a great example. If you look at someone like Emily on Toast on TikTok, you can see she's got 27,000 followers, which doesn't seem that massive given that some of her videos have had millions of views. So the grated halloumi there has had 3.8 million views. So I think, again, that's something that you do need to get your head around and hopefully help your wider business and leadership understand that followers does not mean success in 2026. And as our screens fill up more with AI generated synthetic content, or slop, as we're calling it, users are losing trust in broader social platforms. They are rotating more towards smaller, real communities like Threads or Substack or WhatsApp communities, where they trust human interaction more than they trust vanity metrics. So I do think 2026 is the year that we kind of knock followers on the head and really understand that they just don't mean anything in terms of your success in social.